So, what's going on, fam? Been a minute, but I'm here, son. I'm here. Yo, I want to talk about my man Steve Brimley, man. Shout out to Steve Brimley, the unbiased guy that represents unbiasedness. And Steve Brimley, man, when he came around, I think I first noticed him on E Thriller's one of his live. I think that's why I first started um, being familiar with Steve Brimley, man. I believe it was E Thrillers on his channel. Shout out to E Thriller, the Black Picasso. Y'all go subscribe to E Thriller, the Black Picasso, man. Make sure y'all do that. But Steve Brimley pretty much runs off this thing where he's pretty much unbiased, and he is an Errol Spence supporter. He's a fan of Errol Spence, but he believes that Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence, and that's unheard of from a lot of these Spence supporters, because a lot of these Spence supporters are extremists, man. A lot of them are aerosexuals, and a lot of them are super duper fanboys. But Steve Brimley, I gotta admit, I fuck with him. He's none of those. As far as I'm concerned, that's how I see Steve Brimley. I believe he is unbiased, because you gotta be unbiased, right? If you support a fighter, but then you saying that you still don't think your fighter is gonna beat another fighter, that is unbiased. So that's pretty much the definition of unbiased. So he had a debate against somebody. I'm gonna say his name just once. Knockoutboxing 86 TV. Everybody, I'm pretty sure y'all are familiar with him. At one time, me and him, we was cool. We was cool, and just like everybody else, a lot of the other dudes, a lot of the brothers was cool with him. Man, we didn't have no problem with him. I'm not gonna get into that no more. You know what I mean? I spoke on that a few times already. But we all had a fallout. You know what I'm saying? And it was his doing. He caused all of it. All right. So I seen him going back and forth with Steve Brimley a few times on I believe it was on Knockouts, on some of his chats and stuff like that. So Steve Brimley stepped up to the plate and did a debate on Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford the other day. And in my humble opinion, man, Steve Brimley demolished him. I mean, this don't really have nothing to do with me and Knockout not liking each other, but I'll be real with you. I think he smashed him, bro. He smashed him. But see, Knockout, like he's a delusional cat, bro. He just listen to him talk. You'll see. Like when he got an audience, he one of them dudes, one of them people. Like when he got an audience around, he got to put on a show for the audience. He one of them type of dudes. Like he one of these guys. If you say something wrong to him or something, he really don't want to do nothing to you. But since everybody is around, he gotta do something to you. He gotta prove it. That's what he give up those vibes. I picked them vibes up from him. All right. So Steve Brimley, there was a few things that I wanted to touch on. That he was saying. He was pretty much, when Steve Brimley was bringing up points, good stuff. You can hear that Knockout was getting a little irritated. You know what I mean? And he was reading off a fucking piece of paper too. Like a teleprompter or some shit. You know, Steve Brimley was going up the top of his head. If you know your shit, you don't need no fucking piece of paper as talking points. You got it right up the top of your head. I don't know everything, but I got enough. I gather enough knowledge already to keep it in my head and spit my shit out. And however it comes out, that's just the way it comes out. That's me. All right? I ain't got to read off a fucking teleprompter like the president and shit like that, but I digress. He had said something about, because Steve Brimley has said, who's bigger? Who's the bigger fight? Or something like that. I'm not sure if I exactly remember. He's like, who's the biggest fight with Errol had? He said Terrence Crawford is a bigger fight than anybody else that he ever fought, right? So then Knockout is like, well, what are you talking about? So you telling me Terrence Crawford in Spence is bigger than Kell Brook in Spence? You telling me he's bigger than Sean Porter in Spence? I'm saying to myself, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? What is the difference between Errol Spence versus Sean Porter, Errol Spence versus Kell Brook, and Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford? There's a definite difference between those three fights. Can anybody name what the difference is with those fights? I should let the Jeopardy music play, but I don't have any. Goddamn. Bingo. Terrence Crawford has the last belt, the last piece of the puzzle, so Errol Spence can become undisputed. That's the difference with this fight. That is why we're talking about it, right? That is why you are up there debating Steve Brimley about Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, because that's the fight that everybody want to see. And there's a reason why. It's because Bud is best pound for pound over Porter and Kell Brook. Porter had numerous losses when he fought Errol. He already had losses. Kell Brook, he already had a loss. He already had a loss or something, right? How many losses Kell Brook had when he fought Errol Spence? Did Triple G give him his first loss? No. Because he lost twice, I believe. He lost to Triple G and he lost to Sean Porter. That's how Porter beat Kell Brook. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. It was actually Kell Brook beat Sean Porter. Man, that was that long ago, bro. 2014, I think, right? Sheesh. But yeah. So I believe Kell Brook only had one loss. I think Triple G was the only one that beat him. But he still had a loss on his record. Sean Porter had a loss on his record because he lost to Sean Porter had Keith Thurman, and he had Kell Brook, and Keith Thurman was his only losses. But he said he had two losses before he fought Errol, and Kell Brook had one loss. Bud has no losses. Bud has the other piece of the puzzle. When Errol fought Kell Brook and Sean Porter, that wasn't as big because that wasn't for fucking undisputed. I mean, come on, man. It's not that I couldn't believe what I was listening to. He had said some other things in there that was weird, man. That made absolutely no sense. But towards the end, when it got to the third round, I started seeing him get even more irritated because Steve Brim was coming with real shit. And all Knockout was doing was coming with emotional shit and personal opinions. And then he started attacking, throwing jabs at him. And then we wait for it. We knew it was coming, y'all. We knew it was coming. Mr. Mute himself, the mute game started. We already know that's what Knockout does. He start getting a little irritated and upset because he feel like this is his channel, so he gotta outshine and he gotta be the honcho. So that's what he did to B-Mac. He muted me, he kicked me off his joint, and then he did it to he did it to Steve Brimley. He muted him a little bit. Muting niggas. You know what I mean? That's his MO. So then they started going back and forth a little bit more, right? And then out of nowhere, guess what comes out his mouth? You see, that's why motherfuckers don't want to come over here for no smoke. That's why your boys don't want to come over here. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? How did it get from debating about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford to talking about us? See, that's why he wanted Steve Brim to come on his shit, because that was another way for him to try to jab at us and shit like that. That's what he had to do. So he used Steve Brimley to do that. I caught that. And I'm like, bro, this is a debate about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Why are you mentioning us for? Why are we still on your mind, bro? And then he keeps saying the same repetitive shit over and over again. Oh, man, that's why they don't want no smoke with me. That's why they don't never pull up. I'm like, listen, guys, I'm not going to get into that no more. Y'all already know it's always an excuse when it comes to Knockout pulling up on everybody else shit, but he expect everybody else to go on his shit. But every time it comes to going on everybody else stuff, he claims he can't do it because he's caught up with something, and nigga got himself on a schedule. Like, come on, my nigga. Like, what are you talking about? Make time, bro. Everybody else make time for shit, right? When people come on your panel, people had shit to do, right? When I came on his panel, I was with my family, bro. I pushed that shit to the side. I'm like, no, fuck it. I'm gonna just jump on there no matter what happened. I did that. So why can't he do the same thing when it comes to other people's channels? If he really want to smoke, right? He just delusional, bro. He don't really, he know what's gonna happen when he does that. If he gets into another debate with me, a real one, without emotions and all that, talk about videos and all that. No. Fuck all that. Let's keep it boxing or whatever. He'll get chewed up. I would have chewed him up. Thriller would have chewed him up. B-Mac chewed him up already on his own channel. Steve Brim crushed him the other night on his own shit. And then, of course, you know, the guys gonna give him 2-1. They made him win he won a debate because that's his channel, bro. You think somebody honestly gonna, even if he picks some moderators or whatever, come on, man, you know what's gonna happen. He gonna always win. It's like, that's just what it is. He gonna always win a debate on his own shit. This is the way it's gonna be. But he kept getting into that. Steve Brimley talking about boxing. He started talking about us. Oh, well, you know, I know why I see it. I'm making this shit look easy. He tries too hard to convince himself that he's really not, like, he's that dude, and he really ain't. He one of them dudes. Like, yo, see, I made it look easy. What did you really do? What did you make it look easy? You was reading off a teleprompter. Steve Brim was coming with straight facts. Then you started getting into your feelings, start trying to deflect and start talking about, see, that's why your boys don't want to come over here. That's a feel-good mechanism. When people do that and start saying, you know, I made this look easy, that's why your boys don't want no smoke, because he losing. When somebody losing, they got to reassure themselves by doing shit like that. And that's what happened. He got his ass whooped by Steve Brimley. I was about to chew him up on this page, and I think I slightly chewed him up when we had that little spat. He didn't want to pull up the shit to disprove that other whack-ass article he kept pulling up about the Ugas thing. And then I think that's what he said, too. About, what was it about? Was it Ugas? Damn, man, I don't remember. It was something goofy he said that made entirely 0 sense. Y'all guys can go listen to that shit yourself. Somewhere around the middle. Goofy shit that made no sense. So, this guy is just highly emotional. He runs off emotions. He think he knows everything he talking about. But most of the shit he say is emotional. When you start hitting him with facts, then he start going into other stuff. He can't never stay on point. When you start like hitting him with real facts, he start getting into, oh, yeah, see, that's why your boys don't want to come over here, because they know I'll smoke them. And I'm like, oh, this nigga here, bro. Yeah, he's man, that's what he do, bro. Then he throw low-key jabs to try to goad people to come onto his page, onto his channel and shit like that. It ain't gonna work no more. It ain't gonna work. You know what? If he actually really pulls up to somebody else's panel, I do another live. I'm doing my Devin Haney live, likely tomorrow. I mean, I've been so busy with the gun channel. I've been doing other things too, so I haven't really had time to park and sit down and put in some more work on the boxing channel, but I will be, so stay tuned. He knows he gonna get smashed, but if he pulls up, we'll respect that a little bit, and then maybe once he start pulling up on other niggas shit, niggas start pulling up on his shit. But he ain't doing that. Guys, when has he pulled up on E-Thriller shit? Has he ever been on E-Thriller's live yet? Come on, y'all. Be real. I'm not talking about in the chats. I'm talking about actually when dudes drop the link. Has Knockout ever accepted the link? Was Knockout ever on his panel? I don't remember him being on E-Thriller panel. Has Knockout ever came over to B-Mac and the Mac Mob and click on the link? Have you ever seen that, y'all? Nope. So likely either he's always eardropping behind the scenes watching, or he'll drop little slick comments in the chat on E-Thriller stuff and then disappear. That's all he do, bro. But if he grows some balls, see, what he is doing is trying to Everything that he is, he's trying to reflect that onto us. So he's saying that we don't want no smoke. Yet, he never once clicked on nobody's link. We don't want no smoke, but I pulled up on his shit. Does that make sense, y'all? I'm just being real here. So in my opinion, my thoughts on this debate was Knockout got destroyed on his own channel by Steve Brimley. Shout out to Steve Brimley for doing this motherfucking thing. And of course, his yes man gonna say he whooped him. He didn't. He didn't whoop him. He didn't whoop him. He was getting real emotional. His voice was getting high, and he was getting emotional. He said, Mrs. Knockout, I'll be over there. Shit, I'm gonna spend more time with my wife, man. This shit too easy, y'all. Yeah, whatever, man. This shit ain't easy because you lost, bro. You wanted it to be 3-0, but it ain't happened. And you lost. In my opinion, you got pulverized on your own fucking live, bro. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all when it comes to that. Shout out to Steve Brimley. Shout out to the Mac Mob. Shout out to E Thriller. Shout out to IOTBA. All the real channels out there. The real unbiased channels. It's Rebel Life Boxing. Catch y'all in the next one, man. And I'm out.